everybody, and welcome to Four Mics, the gaming podcast. Yes, gaming podcast. Gaming news podcast. My brain needs to wake up today. I've got everybody and our mystery guest as normal now, apparently.
Normal mystery guest?
Am I really a mystery anymore?
Yes.
No, I still have your name removed.
Oh, okay.
So they don't know who you are, besides that your name is Paul.
Oh, that's nice.
And his name might not actually be Paul.
And we're late because college sucks and it's my fault. But that's
there it goes. Blame him. How dare he get college?
Well, damn, he got a degree. Who was a
yeah, fuck him, right? Fucking
Who gets a degree anymore? So mainstream.
Oh my god.
Right?
You get an angle.
That's all it is, just fucking paper. I could have printed you one.
Sadly.
The College of Steve.
College of Steve.
He's just got like a little shack out in the woods with a printer. What are you here for? Psychology degree. Alright, here's one psychology degree for you.
Definitely.
There you go.
Totally a scam.
I recommend using a lot of Google.
A lot of Google, huh?
A lot of Google.
Best.
Alright.
Will you give me $5?
Now that I've got the opening article on the screen, I'm going to deviate away from this random tangent we're headed on. Valve tightens restriction on Steam Store screenshots.
Whose fault is that, I wonder?
And they're gonna enforce this how?
I don't know, that's the interesting part.
Because, okay, so Steam Greenlight is a fucking disaster. Okay?
Agreed.
They already can't police the existing creators. Like, they already can't hold them to the standards that are already in place. And now you're telling me that some poor series of slave-driven interns at Valve is going to crawl across the face of the website making judgment calls on whether or not something is actually an in-game screenshot? Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's be honest, you should get rid of the Greenlight system in general. Like, it kind of sucks.
No, Greenlight's important, though.
Yeah,
no,
I
agree.
Not. I agree, Green.
It is important. It's just shit.
Exactly, it's trash. Get rid of it, start over.
Well, here's the issue. It got abused so much after such a great idea came out that now you can't really claim that it's useful anymore, but you want to keep it around because it's an important feature to keep, small developers in the scene.
My proposal to it, then, is you can't charge for an unfinished game. That's my proposal, then. Like, if you're going to have an early access game, you ain't going to get money for it till it's done.
But then you're going to have a lot of games that aren't going to be finished.
Yeah, but there's already a lot of that now. There's already a lot of games that aren't finished that aren't going to be finished.
What he's saying is there would be games that literally are really good that would not be done if it weren't for being able to have people buy into the early access.
Well,
what people need to understand is like, yeah, but that's the problem though, because Kickstarters are actually more dangerous than early access games. Because you don't get the product at all until it comes out, and there's very rarely any sort of beta that happens. I mean, do we need to pull up the Mighty Number 9 article again, or
right,
is
Spartans uttering? There's games that I bought 3 years ago in early access that are still in early access, and I don't think they're ever coming out.
Yeah, but how playable are they?
Kind of.
Well, are they playable enough that you enjoyed them?
No.
Okay.
Anything enjoyable that Steve enjoys
besides Rust.
But that's like Rust.
It's the one game I actually made a review for. What the hell was it? It was some zombie game. That was a big fucking thing.
That really narrows it down.
Yeah, but that's my point exactly, though. That's my point. There's so many of them that come through Greenlight.
For every, let me put it this way.
If they can't afford to make their fucking game, fuck them. We don't need it.
Because that's the attitude we need.
Yeah,
because you stop getting shovelware. You stop getting trash games getting shoveled out.
Hashtag Star Citizen shovelware.
Yeah.
Because AAA games are just so great all the time, right?
Yeah.
No, but at least they finished the fucking game.
But at least they got money to pay me.
They don't even necessarily finish
They don't
the
even
games.
necessarily finish the games.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
what I'm
was gonna
saying,
say the one thing I can think
Pile
that didn't
crap.
is Metal Gear Solid 5. They
for
didn't
all the
finish
garbage
it.
that comes out of the Steam Greenlight system, there is enough good shit that it needs to stay there.
Like what?
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me go get my list. I
Of
prepared
course
for
he's
this.
got a list.
I was gonna say this should be off the top of the head sort of thing.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
like,
Well, I mean, you've
Ultimate
got things
Chicken
like
Horse.
Horse, and you've got Absolver is going to be an early access game. I'm going to count Minecraft because it was basically early access before the term
Right, but
ever
it wasn't
existed.
on Steam, so I'm not counting it.
Yeah, but it's the same concept.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about Steam in general right now. Is what I'm
Okay,
talking
well,
about.
you've got H1Z1, Rust,
That
Absolver.
H1Z1 was
did
fun.
not suck. It was
And it's
fun.
a great game now.
I haven't played it now.
I think Steve is having a problem distinguishing his personal opinions from facts.
I think Steve is having a problem distinguishing good games from bad ones.
Well, no, like the one game I was talking about earlier was DayZ. That game.
Oh,
Well, there's
Daisy.
there's another
still a
example.
fun game.
It's not.
It's
At least when
never
I
been.
got it way back when, and it's still in early access. Hell, I think it's still in alpha.
There's a lot of players still playing it because it's a really good zombie simulator.
It's a good concept. It's not good.
Let's
I can't
see.
look at
Google.
it and I can't look at this thing and
DayZ.
say it's good.
Daisy Steam charts.
But
Playing 43 minutes ago, over 9,000 people. 24-hour peak, 10,000. All-time peak, almost 50,000 players. And it got a 69.5% increase in June when it went on sale. And it's only dropped about 30% that it gained in the first place over the course of the last 6 months.
that's not bad.
Obviously doing really well.
Not gonna say it's not, but I'm still saying it's a bad game. Just because it does well doesn't mean it's not bad.
It's bad, but by every metric available, it's
I mean,
Just because people are playing it doesn't mean it's good.
eh,
That's not a metric to go by. I go by gameplay.
okay.
it
Well,
has
then
shit
that means that there's a
gameplay.
large number of people who think it has good gameplay. So
otherwise I
Eh?
don't think they would return to it. Not to mention, in the state it was when I first played it, there wouldn't be that many players.
Like I played it, I guess, back in 2014, so I haven't played it in 2 years.
so when it was okay. Well, why are you talking out your ass then? If you haven't,
I'm
played
not.
it
I'm
so
saying
long.
when I got this game, and it's still not done 2 years later. I'm not
A
going back
lot
to
of
it
games
because
don't
it was
finish
trash.
in 2 years.
Oh my God, Steve. Okay, let me lay your argument back out for you. I bought this game in 2014, and it was Labads, and it was in early access. I haven't played it in 2 years, so I don't actually know if the product has increased in quality. It's been in early access.
It's not
been
that I don't
gaining
know,
people.
it's that I don't care.
Yeah, but
So
you
then
not
why is it an
caring.
argument?
Yeah, you not caring
It's
isn't
my
an
argument that it came out when it was trash. I played it. I didn't like it then. I'm not going to give it the chance now.
No, but you used
don't
it as an
care.
example for why the Steam Greenlight system isn't working when it's actually an example of how the Steam Greenlight system
Yeah,
is
but this
actively
is,
working.
again, it's one game that's somewhat doing okay for itself out of it.
It's doing
Out of
better
the
than
thousands that are pushed out every day, this was the golden turd.
What happened to those games? They fall to the bottom of the list. They don't ever get heard from again.
It doesn't matter.
And
The
they
fact
don't
is
get-
they still flood the market.
I think we're
They don't flood anything.
misunderstanding
They
Greenlight
don't flood it-
versus early access too, by the way. Greenlight is the
Yeah.
system which lets games onto Steam, which requires voting before buying.
Yes.
And they can either be full release games or early access games. It's not particular.
Right? So for the
Yeah.
game to get on, people have to want the game to get on Steam. Which
Right.
means for it to make it past Greenlight, there has to be a basis of players that want the game.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which means all these
Doesn't mean they're
trashware
good.
software that you're talking about have a basis of players that want the game on Steam.
Kind of.
Or
Not really.
it's stuck in
I know.
Greenlight where it can't be distributed.
Right, but people like read it and like, oh, this sounds fun. This sounds like a good game, but I can't download it unless I upvote it. So they
should we
upvote it,
destroy
it gets
Kickstarter?
passed, and then it's trash.
So should we destroy Kickstarter?
Kickstarter is different. That's
Indiegogo?
other people.
They're
like,
the same
putting
thing.
Kind of, not really.
What's the difference?
The difference is Kickstarter people can choose to put money into it,
Uh-huh.
which is still a dumb thing to me.
And the Greenlight
But
doesn't
you don't put it.
give
No,
you this option?
I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about Greenlight. I don't know how many votes a game needs to get off of Greenlight and into.
So
the
you're
market.
arguing on a point that you don't know much about. Is what you're saying.
It's because it's vague.
Well,
just
it's
vote.
not. It's
You'd
not
have
relevant
to
how
do
many
some
votes
research.
it needs. What's important is that it needs votes. But then the person can either buy or not buy this game once it gets on Steam, which
I mean,
makes
for
it
example-
exactly the same as Kickstarter to me.
Like a huge
Players-
example I have as to why it's bad is a game called Towns. Towns was a hugely like game that people really wanted. Like I was one of those people. It looked like a fun game. It was like it kind of looked like Minecraft, but in a better way, if you know what I mean. It's being made by like a single guy, and he just fucking dropped it. For like no real reason. He just didn't care
Okay.
anymore.
Let me give you some examples. This is The Police, which was a very recent indie game that
Which
came out
I
that was
have.
greenlit on Steam that got huge critical acclaim. The only reason that happened is because of the greenlight system.
I'm not
Pollen,
saying it
which
can't
is
send out
a
good games. My
Which-
problem is it sends out a shit ton of bad games.
You need
That
to
doesn't
take
matter.
the good with the bad.
because
Yeah.
people don't buy them. Yeah, you could.
It makes it harder
nominate-
to find the good.
How does it make
No,
it
it
hard to
doesn't.
find the
It's a
good?
search
You go,
function.
yeah, I was gonna say search function. You change it to search by rating first.
What do you? That's the whole point of Steam Greenlight is it works on the basis of word of mouth. Okay, you could put millions of metric tons of shit into the Greenlight system that somehow managed to get greenlit, and nothing would happen with it because no one would talk about it. Okay, yeah, like you've got Pollen, which is a take on Alien Isolation. You've got Havlion, which is 2D isometric, or sorry, 3D flat. What are their top-down ones where the stage shifts? I don't know what the term for that is. Which is a fucking turn-based RPG. You've got Pomelo, which was a really great horror game. Iconclast, which is a 2D platformer that made a huge fucking amount of money because of its storyline. Reset, which had a really great multiplayer. It's that involved both battles in space and on the ground. Rain World, which was kind of a take on, gosh, the fucking game with the boy who's a shadow, and it's a 2D isometric platformer.
I've got the name. Give me a second.
Limbo?
Limbo,
Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
which was a
Limbo!
was like a spin-off of Limbo. I mean, there
I
are
like
so
Limbo.
many examples of why the green light system works.
Right, RimWorld is an
There it is.
example of the green light system working, and you love RimWorld.
I'm not saying it can't produce good games. I'm saying there's still a shit ton of trash that comes out of it.
And you
So
don't
we have to
wanna
change
buy
your
it.
argument. Steven, we have to change your argument then. We have to change your argument from I don't like the bad stuff or I don't like Steam Greenlight in general to I don't like the bad stuff that comes out of Steam Greenlight, because you're saying I don't mind that it comes out with great games right now because there's a whole bunch of bad games that ruin Steam Greenlight for me, so I don't like it in general. But you're saying also I love these games that come out of this, and Steam Greenlight has great functions that I love.
Which is exactly why we
Not
don't
that
want
I
to get rid
love
of it.
It's that I want them to be improved. Like, I don't
How?
love paying for a game that isn't done and probably won't be done.
Okay, that's not green light.
No, but that's
That's
what my
early
initial
access.
argument was.
That's early access.
I know, and that's what I was talking about before, and we moved to green light.
But you
Well, we kept conflating the two. Like, you were conflating green light with early access.
that's because there
because
are
you're-
early access games on Greenlight. Okay, like, but early access
Mostly,
is
they're not
completely
all early
separate,
access. Like,
nebulous.
What was the one game that got the... God damn it. It's the game about murdering a shit ton of fucking people in an
Oh.
extremely gory fashion.
Oh
lot
god,
of games.
why can't I remember the name of
It's a
that?
top-down.
Because we don't want to remember the name of that.
It was a twin stick shooter. It turned out to be garbage, but it was hilarious.
And all the negative
Oh.
publicity that came out with it.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you like murdered as many people as you could? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
You
that.
would walk up to innocent people and you'd get cutscenes of you just destroying them.
Didn't they make that in response to the
They made that in response to other titles being censored off of gaming platforms, so they wanted to make a game that was as
Yeah.
simple as possible.
That's right.
It ended up
I don't remember what it's
on
called. I think I know
Steam
what you're talking
because
about,
of Greenlight, and then Steam
Why
attempted to
can't-
take it down, and because the users had voted for it to exist by Greenlight, Steam had no choice but to put it back up.
No, Steam didn't have no choice. Gabe Newell personally reinstated it with his administrative account.
I remember that. Those were good days.
Lord Gaben has spoken.
I can't
Anyway, let's
remember what
move
it
on,
was, but yeah.
because we're not gonna come to.
I
any
love
sort
how
of-
attempting to talk about them attempting to regulate images transferred almost
evolved.
immediately into something else.
into Steve bashing on Greenlight. Anyway, it's a good thing that they're trying to make developers actually put up in-game screenshots, but they have no way of enforcing it. Just like they don't have any way of enforcing half the other shit on fucking
Well,
Greenlight.
enough people report that, hey, like, these screenshots are, like, kind of bullshit, then someone would probably just check it out, and if it's, turns out to be bullshit, then yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People have been reporting shit since the dawn of fucking time, and they don't have enough highly trained monkeys working in their basement to actually follow up on all the reports. If I looked at the Steam Greenlight backlog of reports, like if that was public, people would probably be like throwing up in the aisles. Like, how have you like? It's the comment that people make about the report button in multiplayer games too, especially for Trials of Osiris and places like Destiny. It's like it's the do nothing button. It's the button that's supposed to make you feel better about yourself for supposedly helping, but no one checks up on it.
Yeah.
It's a do nothing button. It doesn't help. So until they actually invest putting more man hours into policing the Greenlight platform, having the community doing the reporting for you won't change anything unless you fully automate the system. And if you make the mistake of fully automating the system, then people are going to exploit it to get games knocked off. So it's a catch-22 where if you fully automate it, the trolls will use it, and if you don't fully automate it, then you still have to hire people anyway. So, all right,
Yep.
let's talk about EA being retarded again.
All right.
Ah,
EA
ah,
defends
good
the
old
awkward
Battlefield
Battlefield
game.
1 Titan 2 scheduling. Titanfall 2 scheduling. Many have speculated that
What?
releasing Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 within the same fortnight might have been a bad business move on EA's.
Cough, cough, they did this last time too.
I know.
Yep.
Cough, cough. Someone who does not crunch figures and touch bases for a living, I cannot confirm one way or the other, but it was obviously a deliberate move, whether it was to affect the player base of the less popular title Titanfall 2. Titanfall, yes. Ooh. It's probably a more important discussion. Let's see in here. Where's our actual defending statement from our EA?
We think it's a good
CEO
idea.
Andrew Wilson
No,
didn't
like
ex-
everybody was grappling, gliding, dick kick, fighting. That's what that game is.
It is. Wilson didn't explicitly answer the question, but he justified the publisher's motives. We think there are really 3 types of players.
You're wrong.
I couldn't keep going. Like,
Sorry.
it already
hold on,
stopped
hold on.
me.
No, you've got. I mean, wrong,
Wrong.
Wrong.
wrong,
Wrong.
despicable, horrible woman. Hold on. You know what? From now on, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make a soundboard of just Donald Trump saying wrong. I'm gonna wire it in through my audio deck, and anytime somebody says, I'm just going wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to get one of those ready to go for this podcast from now on. Now, anyway.
You should also,
All right, go
People
ahead.
that
you should
really
also
love
get
Battlefield.
your waste.
Oh, you're a waste, yeah. People that really love Battlefield and that kind of big strategic gameplay that will orient in that direction. The player that loves the fast, fluid, kinetic gameplay of Titanfall 2 will orient towards that game. And the player who has to play the two greatest shooters of the year will buy both.
So, and the guy that has to rub both of our knobs will get both.
I like to point out that Battlefield hasn't been strategic since like Battlefield 2.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know who he's kidding with the strategic. I have not played Titanfall 2 to say if it's fast, fluid, and kinetic.
What? Okay,
It
yeah.
is.
There's Titanfall, which is fast and kinetic, and then there's Battlefield, which is big and kinetic. Like, this is no strategy. Like, like, when you use the word strategy, that implies that you're actually coordinating with other people. Not that the individual player has to make positioning decisions, and if they have a vehicle, decide how or how not to use that vehicle, because that's what happens in every first-person shooter. If you're talking about strategery, you actually need to be able to talk to other people and be like, okay, I'm putting a tank here, and who's coming with me, and if I don't have enough people to come with me, I'll use the tank somewhere else. When are we deploying planes? What planes do they have out? Who's on anti-aircraft? Where's the anti-aircraft at? And you have to coordinate. That's strategy, okay?
Right.
Not just like...
now that's
played-
strategy.
I played one game like that, and it was a PS3 exclusive called MAG, where it was like a 120 versus 120 people battle.
Jesus.
And like it had like fall of command, like you can command a squad, or you can command a platoon of squads, or you can command all the platoons, and it just like kept going on until you're like the commander of the entire like fucking army. And that was pretty much the rule. Like if you're like the commander of the army, you're not really doing much fighting. You're telling everyone what to do and where to go and how to do it and all that bullshit. And then the chain of command is just follow.
But the reason why that distinction that he just made works is because all the Battlefield fanboys fancy themselves as playing a strategic shooter.
Right, and
Okay.
Battlefield
if you
tried to
tell
be
them-
strategic momentarily.
And if you tell them that it's not a strategic shooter, they lose their fucking shit. They just
Really?
don't know how to handle themselves. Yeah, they can't.
Yeah.
handle
I knew to blow up this wall that we always
Really?
blow up to shoot the
Really?
enemy.
it. When it comes right down to it, if you can distill down the reason why like full-time or like really hardcore Battlefield players think that Battlefield is a more strategic shooter, it's because they're trying to shit on COD. They're like, look at us. We're not 13-year-olds playing our wall hang jumpy game with dogs. We're playing a pretty Battlefield simulator with vehicles and airplanes. We are much superior to them.
Well, it's still like the
Vehicles
13-year-olds
as in
playing with them.
airplanes.
I mean, Battlefield attempted to do
Ground
this.
vehicle airplane.
They really try, because you have Squad Commander, and they momentarily implemented a system called Commander, where you would take the role of somebody who did nothing but issue orders.
That'd be cool.
However, no one really listened, and people stopped using it very quickly.
Wasn't
Yeah, like
are you
in
talking
Mag.
about the thing that they implemented in Battlefield 4? Because I thought that as a commander or like that tablet thing in Battlefield 4, you could also like call in airstrikes. That there would be one
I
on
mean,
either team.
Yes, you can call in tactical attacks, but primarily, you're sitting
At
at
just ordering
at
things
a
around.
tablet. Yeah, you're ordering the squads around, and the lack of the impact of the airstrikes and their infrequency caused the loss of it being used. Basically, the people don't even sit in that anymore.
Yeah. That's kind of how MAG was. Like, if MAG actually was a strategic way, like, if you just had a team of, like, no one's listening, they're just trying to play it like it's Call of Duty, like, they're gonna fucking lose.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's
you
not
need
what
both.
happens in Battlefield, because everybody
No,
plays
it's
it
not.
like it's Call of Duty.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But in MAG, when, like, you play with strategy and you, like, actually have, like, troop formations in particular areas and all that bullshit, like, you do very well.
By the way, quick question for the two people that host me, and are you hosting me, and is anybody else watching chat?
I don't know.
I
I'm
am not
hosting
watching
you.
chat, but I can get on there real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
I mean,
chat.
I
am
I
hosting.
told the one guy hi, but
Fuck him.
Who was it?
Hey, guy in chat, if you're still there.
352. Yeah, I'm
Fuck
just.
'em.
Already gone.
I was shocked that I was the only one that said anything, so I was checking on that.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with EA being dumb about themselves and
But
having
you're
a high
gonna say you're
horse.
about done being
You're
a
done with
Twitch
EA
admin
being
for our
done,
group.
so we can move into another article about EA having an
last
interesting
thing-
situation. But let's keep talking.
Well, just let me stick in between here really quick before you move on.
Yeah.
That they still have a thread now that has doubled in size since the last time we discussed it, and is now at
How
something
it
like
doesn't work.
230 pages about how there's serious issues with the 680, the 770, and the 1060, just basically just crashing for like no reason. And I previously read the troubleshooting attempts that have been made by members of the community to get this thing to work. It's gotten even more serious now, where people are like attempting to reg edit properties of the graphics card around the driver to attempt to see if they can stop if it's a possible memory leak, or if it's like if it's a CPU threading issue. Like, they're making manual millisecond adjustments to the way that the processes are being handled by the graphics card to figure out where the problem is. And it's basically come down to, we can't fix it. Like, everything that normally you could deploy from a computer diagnostics standpoint to try and fix a problem like that is not working. And now NVIDIA and EA have gotten into a finger pointing contest because the error says that it's driver related. NVIDIA says our driver is perfectly fine for every single one of the cards. If it was a systemic driver issue, then everyone would be having a problem. And EA's going, well, it's only specific cards, so obviously it must be your fault. So now, probably they're just going to finger point themselves into oblivion and never fix the problem. So, and I also can't get a refund because I, in my attempts to troubleshoot it, have now played for too long to get a refund.
Nice.
So, that's that situation.
Oh,
Good job.
Yep. The only last thing I
Just
have to
fun.
mention is that they said supposedly that these two dates have been set in stone for an extremely long time, but I don't know why you wouldn't be like, hey guys.
Like, I would have released Titanfall 2 in, like, January.
Yeah.
If they've been set in stone for an extremely long time, why, like, a year and a half or 2 years ago did somebody go, hey guys, I'm looking at the calendar, and these two motherfuckers over here are really close to each other. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe we should fix that. Like,
Or somebody did that, and then the guy higher up the chain went, no, it needs to be out for Christmas.
oh,
That's how it always goes. Like, they release 2 games for Christmas, but the one with the bigger name's gonna get bought.
Yeah, well, Titanfall 2 has really good reviews so far, so. Anyways,
Sometimes
moving
I
on. EA blocks an
Well, I've
entire country from using Origin.
I was gonna say, at
Fuck
this
you,
point,
country!
I've been burned by them once, and I have no intention of buying another one of their games until they fix the first one. So,
Yeah.
Fuck you, Myanmar! How dare you be,
Yes.
like, African or
I'm
whatever.
gonna skip over both of the updates and go directly to the original article, so we can get at the updates as.
Oh,
As the
dude, it's
time would have
also in,
received
it's also in Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, Syria, and Ukraine. Huh.
You reading
Oh,
the
boy.
updates because I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He appears to
But
have
really-
blocked the Southeast Asian country of. That.
Myanmar.
it's Myanmar.
Myanmar?
Know you.
Myanmar.
Yeah, cat.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Saying he can no longer play their 20 or so games and that they've spent hundreds of dollars on these games.
How did you spend hundreds of dollars on 20 games?
What do you mean, how did you spend hundreds of dollars on 20 games?
I want to know what games. Were they just $2 games or were they $60 games?
Obviously, they were
Hundreds.
$60 games.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Do you know EA?
Probably
know,
like
yeah.
Humble Bundle and other things. They gave them access to a bunch of games for really cheap, and then they bought a $60 game kind of title or two.
Did they say, like, this is the thing I'm confused about. Why did they do that? Like, Did they
Fuck
give
'em.
a reason?
With Origin
No.
10 update, U.S. law, which is where EA is based, forced them to block certain countries.
Oh, it's because of U.S. government trade embargoes.
Unfortunately, if you live in one of those countries, I'm sorry, but there is nothing we can do here to allow you access again. Period.
Yes, there is. It's called ex post facto, motherfucker.
Well, they can just use a VPN anyway.
It's
They'll
called
be
ex
able to use
post
them.
facto, bitch. The government shall make no law retroactively applying it, rules and regulations to anything. That's the whole point. I mean, maybe because they're not American citizens, that doesn't apply to them, which would be gay. But I guess that would be one way to get around it. They've purchased the product, and they need to be able to use the product they've purchased. So I don't see why a trade embargo would prevent them from using things they've already
I was going to
purchased.
say, here's the official
could-
statement. So,
Yeah.
official statement. Short answer here is that it occurred due to a U.S. government trade embargo on Myanmar. In accordance with U.S. law, EA is legally required to restrict online services to residents of countries that are embargoed. This isn't an EA-specific issue. It is an issue that impacts all companies offering services that are covered by trade embargoes, such as the OP noted. The embargo on Myanmar appeared to have been lifted earlier this month. According to EA, it is internally reviewing the situation and looking into whether and when its service can be restored to Myanmar residents. It is unclear to me whether we can do anything for the residents of other countries that are still similarly embargoed, but I'll bring the topic up for discussion internally. Did you have access?
Why haven't we heard that Steam is like having this issue?
I was gonna say like that. How is
Because
it that
Steam
you,
isn't retarded.
How is it that you bought these games under a trade embargo that supposedly restricted your access to this account?
Probably again just Humble Bundles.
That's impossible, though. You can't put them into your Origin account until you log into it.
True, and
Places like Steam,
yeah,
all you have to
it's
do, it doesn't matter what the origin of your company is. It matters where the server is located. Because the United States of America cannot affect legislation against something that isn't on sovereign territory. So Steam could probably get around this just by doing like, okay, we're going to put a Steam server over here in this country and have you connect through that one.
Yep.
Like,
Matter of fact, you
Bleh.
think that would be what EA does, but who knows?
I mean, Microsoft, this is a big problem because the United States government likes to stick their big fucking dick in everyone's face. Microsoft, it got so bad that Microsoft had to spin off a shell company to take control of their offshore cloud storage servers on other people's foreign soil. So that way the government could not make requests against that data. They had to create a like a non-sovereign third-party entity on foreign soil in order to protect people's data. That's it's fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Well, anyways, we will attempt to keep you in the loop with what happens with this, because this is kind of an interesting story that I'm hoping will develop farther, and we can see where this ends up.
Yeah, Myanmar, we don't know who the fuck you are or where you are, and we probably don't really care that much, but we hope you get your games back.
Yes, Myanmar,
Agreed.
Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, Syria, and the Ukraine are affected.
Best of wishes, Love Doc.
We'll send you
Does
a gift
anybody
card.
really care about North Korea? Because even if they get them unblocked, I don't think
I mean,
they'd
I
have
hear they're
access
very-
to the site to download Origin.
I heard they're very eco-friendly.
Yeah, I hear they have like
I heard their
access to
leader
4
doesn't poop.
websites.
They have access to like 41.
Their leader, in fact, does not shit. The food that he eats is turned into thermal energy, which can triple his lifespan.
Oh?
That is not a joke. That is the
It is
official
real.
state line.
From
Kim
That's
Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, my bro, does not shit. He turns it into thermal energy, which he uses to sustain his life force.
No.
That's hilarious
I don't
of a
think that's
statement.
likely.
But hey, Doc,
I'll look
it's time for your segment.
Oh, whether you want it or not.
in its own sort of way, because we're going back to VR. Because guess who
God.
announced they're doing VR?
Microsoft is using a cat litter box for VR.
I was thinking it looks like a cat carrying case, but you know.
Under no
Yeah, it does look like a cat
Like,
carrying case.
I want VR from Microsoft like I want AIDS. Like
So real bad.
that I actively avoid whenever possible.
Especially
But if you
because
got it, you'd
it's
be
gonna,
happy.
Like, it's gonna have all these built-in, look at what it does with Windows 10! Bullshit that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like the next article.
Why does
but I'm
like the
gonna hold
second
off
one
on
look
that for a
different?
minute.
Maybe it's more than one iteration of
Microsoft
the
has
same
announced
product.
a new line of virtual reality headsets today, which are much more affordable than the others on the
Oh.
market.
Oh, they've announced a line, have they?
Hey, we said stuff today.
Peruse our variable selection of Microsoft VR compatible components.
Can I have just like a little video feed of someone saying that from the Microsoft company every time I enter their stores?
The headset has
Come
6 degrees of freedom
peruse our
sensors,
hardware.
which means there will be no need for
What?
any cameras or laser tracking systems.
Okay.
We use our psychic abilities to make sure everything works.
But
just
that also
fine.
means that if you sneeze or jump, you will immediately become a member of the fifth dimension when the headset flips its fucking shit and doesn't know what to do because it's changed position too quickly.
Yeah, holy crap.
There's a reason that you don't. Okay, like let me put it this way: on boats, they had navigational equipment like sextants, and those sextants were on a gyroscope. Do you want to know why that was bolted on top of the ship and wasn't like in a compartment down in the hold? The
Yeah.
farther you get away from the source of motion, the easier it is to stabilize something. So obviously, we should put the motion sensors and attach them directly to the thing that will be moving the most, because nothing could possibly go wrong.
Are
Okay.
you questioning our great lords and saviors, Microsoft?
I am. I doth question thee.
Heathen!
I mean-
Mistake.
$300.
So,
Burn him out on the stake after downloading Windows 10.
the
We need another user.
the headset appears to be using similar technology to the Oculus Santa Cruz prototype.
No.
Let me look at what that even is.
Nope. Not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You
Microsoft
guys are
unveiled
funny.
that the Windows 10 Creators Update, and you can use this headset to create, share, scan, and print in 3D
Whoa.
Do I need a 3D printer?
using Paint
How much is
3D
the,
viewed in a
Are
virtual
you gonna get me a
world.
3D printer with it?
I will say this. I've seen Paint 3D. Okay? I've seen that program. It is actually really cool. And they did a lot of good work on it. They took a literal meme pile of shit that is paint.exe and turned it into an actual powerful 3D creation tool.
Imaging tool.
And I was
And I
like,
can't wait
I was
To
like,
have a piece of technology 5
Yeah.
years from now that can use it well.
I was kind of like, wow, you guys like, why did you do that?
They
I mean,
made a
it's cool,
piece of
but-
technology for it, though, Steve. Didn't you see, like, the Windows 10 Creators Update announcement came with, like, a whole PC designed around using the Paint Studio.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I see.
A
that.
whole computer based on paint.
You can draw cool shit.
Man, the future is good.
I mean, the only thing I have to mention about that computer is why does it need that many fucking pixels?
The future is now.
Hey, Doc,
With 3D.
Yes.
in your opinion, why does it need that many fucking pixels?
Obviously,
pixels
because
it
pixels
has.
are awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are we bitching about like amount of pixels?
Because it has more pixels than a computer. Like, it has
I was
more
gonna-
pixels than you could. You can't put it. I'm stuttering. over my
I was
words.
about to say something that was probably gonna like.
It's
I don't know if
higher
people get this joke.
resolution than 4K, Steve.
Remember, the human
So-
eye can see a huge amount of detail, but it can only see it at 24 frames per second.
I thought it was 33.
You know the meme that I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
know what you're talking about.
There's this
Alright,
really great.
we'll move
there's
on
this
from the cat carrier. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Moving
And
on
I
from the
don't care
cat
about
terrier. Microsoft enables offline play for Windows 10 games.
Cool, next.
I
Next.
was gonna say.
For the 3% of the gaming population that buy things off the Microsoft Store for PC, congratulations! You now have a feature that we had in 1998.
Way to be.
My next response
Microsoft,
to that
really
would,
leading the game.
my next response to that would be stop buying things on Windows. They lock frame rates, lock graphic settings, and are utterly terrible with games. Moving on.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I covered that one. Like,
Yeah. Now the final, whether you want it or not, article coming from Microsoft today is built-in game streaming is coming to Windows 10.
cool. Neat.
Yeah, or I can go to Steam.
Or you could use
Like,
OBS.
do you mean
So I don't have to
Oh,
go and
yes.
download a program that does the exact same thing?
Yeah, it's basically
That I already
like
have downloaded?
you could use it you can stream games, but not to Twitch.
So
Not to
So
Twitch.
what you're saying?
important.
Oh,
What are
okay.
you streaming
cool.
it to?
So
Facebook,
what you're telling
Facebook Live, please.
what you're telling me,
Yeah,
what you're telling me is
where's
now,
it going?
Hold on.
now your operating system comes with a free piece of baked-in shovelware with half the features, 2 times the encoding, time. Probably takes up 50% more CPU, and it can't stream Twitch.
It's streaming to Beam.
What the fuck is Beam?
I
You don't
even
know what?
Beam
Wait,
is.
wait, freeze! None of you know what Beam is?
What
No.
the fuck is
Oh, I'm
Beam?
I
shocked.
know what Beam is.
It's a no delay streaming service.
I know what Beam is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like that's not even on my radar. Like if they would have said it's streaming to Hitbox, I would have been like, oh, okay, Hitbox. Yeah, I've been there before. Like,
yeah.
like,
I know
it's
what Beam
Hitbox,
is.
it's not
I'm
me.
shocked you guys don't. Yeah, it has. There's no delay. Like Twitch has the built-in like 15 or so second delay between when I say something and the chat actually sees it. Like Beam is a zero latency. They have almost immediate streaming. That's what Beam is. So it's
From what I'm seeing here,
it's interesting.
like there's no one streaming on it.
What's his name?
Not
yet.
Streams
No one.
on
It hasn't
it.
come out yet.
What's his name?
No, it's
Streams?
out. It's out.
No,
I'm
I'm
on it
talking
right
about
now.
the Windows 10 streaming.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't matter.
There's
to
a
me.
guy I
I'm on
watch,
here seeing who's on it now.
Impulse SV streams on Beam.
I don't know who that is. So,
That's fine.
like the max view I see right now, like the guy with the highest view count right now is Monster Cat 24/7 music stream at 236 people watching, and they're just playing music.
Well, I can give you that when Impulse streams, he gets upwards of 5k ish, and he's usually streaming with another, so they're either splitting views or having the same. But yeah, so Beam is interesting. It's not what I would want to be streaming to.
Yeah, like doesn't look like there's a lot.
There's a
there yet.
reason that when you play games, you like having a built-in delay. Ghosting
Yeah.
is a thing. So, no ghosting if we don't stream
That, and
to
if you
Beam.
get a big enough channel on Twitch, you can get the delay away. If you really wanted.
I'd keep the delay either way. It's always safer. The only thing I wouldn't want the delay for is something like this, which as far as I'm aware, we could technically stream on Beam, but no.
Eh,
Not right
whatever.
now. Doc, you want to say something for me real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What's up?
Because a moment ago, you said something, like I saw your lips move, I knew what you said, didn't hear it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but... yeah. So, yeah, the main reason I wanted to mention this was the not streaming to Twitch, and then streaming to Beam. Yeah.
Whatever.
Man,
Yeah.
more baked in
I
bullshit.
can already do that now,
Yeah,
so
we
I don't
basically
care.
go with meh, who cares, because we have software that does it far better and is already out and been around for a while.
I hate
So,
GameSpot.
I'm gonna
fucking
quickly
articles.
glance at
Like,
an article that I didn't send you guys, simply because I'm literally going to look at it for a moment. And that's
Okay.
just to say that Nintendo is officially announcing information on the Switch on in January, so that they'll
Yeah.
give the pricing,
I've gotta
specs,
tell this
and
to you
everything
guys.
else.
The amount of posts that I've seen on Reddit of people taking iPads and taping Wii controllers to the sides of them,
I've seen so many.
it's just too damn high. It's just-
I read somewhere that the screen will be touchscreen.
Yeah, the screen is touchscreen. So
Well, it hasn't been confirmed by Nintendo.
yeah,
If it is or
Yeah,
not.
they didn't use it at all in their trailer, so
Yeah, like, so I'm
I think
iffy
it
on it.
was-
Like, I've just heard, like, reports of it.
that's a bad idea though, as far as I'm concerned, because it's gonna be like the smudge apocalypse.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Like,
Like, to me, it's just dumb. I don't want it. I'm
smudge
good
is
without it.
boom.
But now we can go on to the Nintendo won't discontinue the 3DS.
we already said that a while ago.
I know we
Yeah,
were
we already,
discussing.
Why are they
discussed
dis-
that.
Why are they discontinuing?
No, they're
it?
not.
No, they're
They're
not.
not. They're confirming
no.
that they won't be because they think they have separate audiences.
Which
They're just-
they,
they're
for the
just
most
dumb.
part, do.
They think they'll have separate audiences for the two, and
Which Bulldog still thinks he's the outlier in every
Bulldog
situation.
doesn't think he's the outlier. Bulldog is just annoyed by the idea.
Let's have
What
two
idea?
concurrent handheld devices.
Thank
Yay!
you. Like why?
Technically,
Why
all
should
devices
we-
are handheld.
Why?
I've already explained why.
We don't need to rehash this because I know you guys talked about this in my absence.
Yeah.
What, like-
Basically, Doc, my reason for why I'm for it is I don't like the Nintendo 3DS games at all. And at least with this, I can at least bring Skyrim with me.
The only
places.
reason that this makes sense is because they have very different power targets. Like one of them is going to
Yes.
be able to perform much better than the other one. And the other
Exactly,
one
so
is going to
that's-
remain relatively inexpensive compared to its big brother. So
Sadly,
if you keep,
Well,
hold on.
if the
With-
price point's gonna be $300,
yeah, with
then they're about the
estimates,
same.
with
no.
guesstimates going on right now, on both, they're about similar in price, especially for the special editions, which is what Nintendo mostly sells out of season.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be more than that. I'm sorry to say.
Well, if it's
There's-
more than that, I don't care because I'm not gonna
If-
get it. Like
if,
$300 is when I get it.
You have to understand
not,
that
I
they can sell it at whatever price they want to. They can take a loss on the console if they decide to take a loss. on the
Nintendo has
console.
officially stated they will not take a loss on this console.
Then it's gonna be more than $300. I'm sorry to break it to everyone, but
I'm
unless
not-
they have come up with some sort of exotic material that
It's
performs
being
2
made
times
with
better
the
than everything
same
else,
chips as the Nvidia Shield.
I'm not.
then it's not gonna be $300. It's just
No.
that's not gonna be it. Especially
I
if
see
it
it
has.
being probably
a
around
full-
5 or 6.
If it has a full, I'd say
It
closer
can't
to
be. Yeah, it
4.5.
can't be 5 or 6. There's
I'd
no
say-
way it can
I'd say
compete
closer
in a
to
market like that.
But if you're gonna have a fully multi-touch functional screen along with enough graphical processing power to make that thing worthwhile for people to get, plus the Bluetooth built-in capabilities and the Wi-Fi, and it probably doesn't have a power brick that charges it. It probably has an internal power converter because it wouldn't make any sense to give it a brick for charging purposes.
Right.
You're gonna have to pack a lot into a very small space. Then they're gonna have to come up with a good heating solution, so like little kids don't fucking bake their legs whenever they play with it.
Well, here's something
The
interesting
amount
that was
of engineering
confirmed.
that's going into building this thing is gonna make it more than $300. I'm sorry.
I have to say something on that topic. The stand that you saw the screen get taken out of is not the console.
Yeah, I know.
They've mentioned that, which is
The console's the handheld.
Yeah, it's like I'm
That's
saying.
obviously how it works.
That's what's
Yeah.
going to be generating all of the heat. So, how you're going to keep little Jimmy from baking his thighs when he plays with this thing is going to be an interesting design challenge for them to solve, especially if it's.
Well,
As
little
powerful
Jimmy can
as a
put it on its
shield.
kickstand onto the table.
Yeah, we have to understand that these are not adults; these are children, and children are stupid. So, hopefully, some little kid doesn't give himself a second-degree burn, and mommy and daddy decide to sue Nintendo
Well,
just for shits and giggles.
it'll be interesting. I'm irritated by this because I'd love to see the 3DS games taken to a better level on a stronger platform with more power behind it. Like, that's my main thing is, like, why should we keep this past generation low-end technology compared to this if this has way better processing power and graphical power? Why not have a pretty fucking Monster Hunter instead of a goddamn thing that I have
Because
on
they're
the
in the
3DS?
business of making money, and
Yeah,
it
like
makes money
they
to have
just
two separate
released the
consoles.
new 3DS last year.
I know, and there's
They're
people
not
that
gonna
defend it,
do that.
like Dev.
Oh, and then for everyone who doesn't know, apparently, and this is unrelated, but I'm going to tell Stream because I don't want them to forget either. Clocks change. Is it this weekend?
Yeah, it's Sunday
Sunday.
morning.
Okay.
Sunday morning.
We gain an hour?
We gain an hour.
Blue
Yes.
or we
Ah.
gain? Yeah,
We gain
yes.
an hour, yeah.
We gain an
I
hour.
don't
Because
have
it'll
to
reach
worry
2
about it.
a.m. and then it'll go
Clock's
back
on.
to 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Gain an hour.
Oh yeah.
Spring we lose, fall we gain, and we need to stop doing that antiquated bullshit soon. But, you know,
No, we have to switch it to 5 hours.
why?
Because
Have you not seen the Josh Tosh joke on this?
Tosh.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, the Tosh joke. He wants to change it to 5 hours because when you go to bring that slut home from the bar at 3 in the morning, it'll be daylight outside and you can see her. And then STDs will drop off completely.
Okay.
I
So,
work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I'm gonna work for an extra hour and get paid less.
no,
Are you
they-
not compensated for
I
that?
was gonna say they have to compensate you for that.
No, they actually have to compensate. I was just making a joke. there.
I know, but that would be hilarious.
But you want to know something hilarious? You know when we lost the hour in spring, they paid
they
me.
still
got it.
They paid me for an 8-hour shift.
Ah!
Yeah, you won't go the other way around for like whatever reason, which is fine with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I get a bonus hour in the fall, but I don't lose one in the spring. Okay.
And you're bitching about this? Why? No.
I'm bitching
Anyway.
about it because there's no reason for us to go from -5 GMT to -4 GMT. It's a literal waste of time, and it gets really confusing. Anyway,
Actually,
I suppose.
No, it's even more
supposedly-
confusing because the numbers don't change when the clocks change. Everyone changes together, which means we're still -5.
other countries don't move forward. The Grand Meridian Prime Time doesn't change with daylight savings time.
Well, we're America, and they can suck a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my point, though.
Have you
is
not learned that America does what it wants?
we're not. We change the time. The rest of the
We're the
world
ones-
doesn't change.
We're the ones. Our scientists are the ones who convinced everyone that there needed to be a universal standard unit system called metric, and then we didn't fucking adopt it.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous.
Ah!
Fuck yeah, we're the fucking trolls of the world.
But
Yeah,
no, supposedly the Switch is supposed to be VR compatible.
Hey, we were talking about time zones, not Switch. Let's get back on that.
We're a gaming
I'm off the
podcast.
tangent.
But
Away from the tangent.
the only
I
thing
wanna
I
talk
have.
about- Okay, once we're done with this, I want to jump into we talk about reporting systems because we're going to talk about Bethesda next. I think is what's up.
Bethesda's next. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another reporting thing for games I want to talk about too. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. The only thing that No, it's not VR compatible, and Nintendo has no interest in making it VR compatible. If you reread the article, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
He says VR is not the direction they want to take the console, and it's not what they want to do with it. So they're hoping, I don't know if they're hoping that it won't matter, but they're not attempting to go into VR.
Well, good for them.
They most likely will eventually, though.
I
eventually.
mean, can you
It's
imagine?
too gimmicky not to.
Can you
For
imagine
Nintendo.
doing
Like, they
Mario
see,
Maker
They see the
in,
gimmick there,
in VR?
but they already seen like the other people are doing it. Like, we can't do it. They did it first. Then it won't
Not
be
the
our
current.
gimmick. So we'll wait till we have the full suits, and then we'll do it.
I could imagine a Mario Maker 2 in it, not this current one.
Well, that's what I mean, though. A Mario Maker in VR, it wouldn't obviously be Mario Maker, but a
Oh my God,
Mario
that'd be
Maker-like thing in VR, that would be great.
That'd be horrifying.
Why?
If you're running up and you see, like, you look down, it's just a chasm.
Yep, of lava
Like,
many
oh,
meters
shit.
below.
Dude, okay, no, people like it would be those insane fucking levels where there's like 85 billion invincible fucking spike things, and people would just get fucking PTSD trying to complete the level. They'd be like cowering in the corner, like, "No, mommy, not the spikes again."
Maybe that's why Nintendo knows how trolly their audience is. Anything else on Nintendo Switch anybody wants to say?
Nah. Like I said, if it's $300, I'll buy it. Any higher, it can fuck itself.
I'll still pick
Okay.
it up because I'm probably gonna start dropping. Like when the next Xbox comes out, I'm probably not getting it. When the next PlayStation comes out, I might get it, but I'll probably just stick with
You'll still get
Nintendo and PC in general.
I'll probably get the next PlayStation just for the exclusives.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only reason I would get it, and so I can play games like Final Fantasy and the new Persona, because I already pre-ordered Persona 5. Doesn't
The
come out till
Xbox
fucking
doesn't
March.
The Xbox doesn't have any games on it that I give a shit about.
Anyways, Bethesda fixing reported Skyrim remastered audio downgrade.
Dumbasses.
Yeah, they
Didn't notice
compress
anything.
they compress the waveformat sound into an XMF file. XMF? Does that sound right? Am I saying it right?
I think so.
Well, I like to say Skyrim Remaster's got a lot more problems than audio.
Oh yeah.
Does it?
If you guys have seen what happens when you play it at higher frame rates,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
In the-
playing
in
it
the
at
opening?
60.
in the opening cutscene, when you're in the wagon, you hit a rock and all of the wagons start flying everywhere, and the horse like merges into the ground, and then the game
Right, but that's just Bethesda. That just is gonna happen.
blows up.
Bethesda of all the gaming companies gets the pass on glitches because they're hysterical.
No, they do not. You literally just sounded like that fucking stick figure cartoon where it says 2010. Oh, hey man, these glitches are pretty serious. They better fix the game. 2012. Oh, look, it's another glitch. This one's really cute. 2014. Oh man, these features with the horses merging into the ground are really awesome.
Are they not? Are they not?
Yeah, but
You're acting like this is a negative thing. Like,
I-
that sounds amazing.
I have to, like, as long as the game can progress without it breaking, I'm okay with bugs.
Exactly.
Well,
Like, they're not
Bethesda-
game-breaking glitches.
No.
They're just funny things that happen.
Steve, the one we're talking about breaks the game. It crashes
Yeah.
the game.
It crashes.
yeah.
Oh, that, it didn't happen to me,
Assassin's
so I don't care.
fucking Assassin's Creed where their faces don't exist. There's
The only glitch I had in that Assassin's Creed game was just a flying, like, fucking clipboard. That was
Don't
it.
worry.
clipboard.
Yeah, that was
It's
it.
okay
I was
if
like,
it
you know
exists.
what? Of all the glitches I could have, that's fine.
Bethesda's the goat simulator of RPG games.
Pretty much. They just, like, we made an RPG. Yeah, there's some bugs in it. Yeah, sometimes a Deathclaw might show up and its arm will be distorted to the next county. But it happens.
Yeah, but in Fallout 4, the bugs that I ended up encountering don't make sense. Explain to me how this bug happens. You ready? I aim down my laser rifle sight. I'm looking through my scope at a bug. I pull the trigger, and instead of firing, I'm teleported to where I was looking.
This sounds like a problem. I see it as quick
Would you
travel.
like me to try and explain that?
I mean, can you think of an actual reason?
Okay. What happens if you don't aim down the sights?
Well, it only happened once. I aimed down the sights and repeated the process, and it didn't happen again.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
just a
I don't know.
Bethesda glitch.
Some weird memory error could have happened where it referenced your player's ID as the ID of the bullet, and you basically shot.
shot myself.
Since it's a laser, it doesn't like go at like a speed distance. It just appears.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, is this
there is
Pokemon
no
Red and
such
Blue?
thing- There is no such thing as instantaneous teleportation in video games. Everything in a video game is a projectile, whether or it always has a velocity. In fact, it's funny. The reason I think of that is because you could do it in Halo 1. You could go in and mod the bullets in the pistol to be a reference to the character model loaded in memory, and if you fired the pistol, you'd appear where the bullet lands.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically what happened.
No, I never encountered any like dumb bugs.
That
like
only
The only
happened
bug I had was
once.
like a graphical error on my map because of some fucking driver I had.
But yeah, see how offhandedly we address these bugs? Like, they just kind of happen.
Yeah, you just don't understand, Doc. You've clearly never played it.
This is really great. It's like, hey man, we made this brand new RPG. Really? How many hours of gameplay is it? Well, the main campaign's like 40 hours, but there's got to be at least 200 hours of side
false.
quests. No, let me finish. It's hypothetical.
Excuse me.
Okay, it's
Okay.
hypothetical. Man,
Okay.
but there's hundreds of hours of side quests. Cool. How many hours of testing did it go through? 20. What? Yeah.
Hold on,
20
you
hours
say
of testing.
testing. I don't know if Bethesda tests.
No, but that's the deal, though. Like, then you have no idea.
Look,
Even
Bethesda gets a pass, Doc.
It doesn't.
even fucking game. But it's
Bethesda gets a pass.
No, they can't get a pass because they're creeping into the
They
industry.
get
Even
a
fucking new
pass.
games that are coming out, like fucking Battlefield,
They get
Titanfall,
a
and
pass.
fucking even Destiny. They're like, did you even test this?
Hey,
Who tested this?
Hey, it's not like this Square Enix or Microsoft or Naughty Dog. Bethesda gets a pass because they're Bethesda. Unless it's Dishonored.
You're
So
part
to-
of the problem, Steve.
So to totally
No, you
distract
don't.
you all for no reason.
I love you.
If it's Dishonored, then there's a problem. But if it's open world RPGs like Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, it's okay.
Don't worry, guys. The modders will fix it.
No, they don't even fix it.
I was gonna say, the modders don't even address half the bugs most of the time. Most of the time, they make the bugs worse.
Yeah, they're the same way, Doc. You're the minority.
But that's not the point.
Okay.
I don't think Bethesda gets a pass. I just think minor bugs that don't destroy the game and don't occur every time with Bethesda games are overlooked because they're so common, because they've been using the same engine since who fucking knows when.
They just don't give a shit. Like, we're Bethesda, we know you'll throw money at us.
There's it's not the Elder Scrolls. What was the Skyrim before the Elder Scrolls?
Oblivion.
The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Sorry, before this one, you know what I meant because I don't play very much.
yeah.
It's
Skyrim.
Oblivion.
There was a glitch in Oblivion. Okay, they had to patch this with a hotfix, which was actually kind of rare back then. Basically, they made it so that the guards in this one town, for some reason, actually had food calculations. So they would get hungry and they would actually eat food that was laying around. Okay,
Huh.
if
That's
they ran
awesome.
out of food, they wouldn't die. But it made them more realistic in this one town where eventually after a certain amount of time they'd go and they'd actually find food items, take them, and eat them. And, like, use their durability and they disappear. But the problem is they also gave each character in that town X number of food items that are actually on their person. They never coded them to go walk around and pick up other food. Okay, and there was this quest giver in the town who was in a jail cell. Okay, and if you waited too long to get to that town, based on the timers that were involved in the game, the guards would run out of food. They'd run out of food in the town, and they would kill the quest giver for the food items on him, and then you couldn't progress through the campaign.
Best things I've heard in a long time.
That's the greatest thing. Why would they get rid of it? It's so funny.
It's a built-in hard mode. You gotta get to this town before X number of time or you lose.
That is one thing I didn't like about Oblivion.
In fact, wait, actually, I think I have an article on it. An old article. Yeah, during the Oblivion, the new Radiant AI system, which let all NPCs in the world think and act on their own, led to some of the best bugs. Our favorite was a quest where you had to talk to a prisoner in jail. Sometimes when playtesting, we would find him locked in his cell dead. It took us forever to figure out why. Turns out the guards in the jail would run out of food and get hungry. They would then go down and kill the prisoner and take his food. This all happened when the player wasn't there. I still don't remember how we figured it out or how we fixed it, but it honestly led to some really great discussions around around the coding table. And the nickname, and what was it called? The nickname of the Foodians. The guards would go around and kill people as like the guardian, because the guards are named guardians. So the guards would go around killing people for food. So they called them the Foodians.
Wait, can I would love to just catch one and just feed him an apple every now and then.
I have a small. Oh my god! What the?
Why would they get rid of it? That just sounds fun.
So
like, just make sure people know that that's a thing and it's fine.
So the guard's AI is to kill people for food?
they coded it that the AI could eat and that they wanted food, and it in the Radiant AI, or in whatever the way they used to program it and set priorities, for some reason the food would take priority over making sure that the prisoners stayed alive. So they just killed food.
This is why Bethesda gets a pass, Doc.
Once they figured it out, they tested it by they bring people into the jail. Like, they'd spawn in a new person in jail with food on them, and then they'd watch. They'd just sit and wait. And after like an hour, the guards would run out of food, and they go and open the cell, and they just fucking shake the bitch. And
This is why they get a pass, Doc. They don't
get
anyway.
a pass. They don't get
All right,
They get a
let's
pass.
move on.
So the next article is an update on a previous article we addressed a while ago, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. I'm not entirely sure. The
That's a
Oculus
lawsuit.
versus ZeniMax lawsuit moves forward with new court orders. Yeah, the lawsuit.
I don't care.
So the court filing this week claims that the Oculus VR representatives might have lied under oath and presented inaccurate expert reports as part of the company's defense.
That
Oh
Oculus
boy.
keep on looking shady.
The judge ordered a computer forensics expert to discuss his ZeniMax findings of the search of the Oculus CTO's John Carmack's computer in April 2014, saying in court documents that the hard drive contains statements and representations that have been sworn to and are before the court factually inaccurate. This expert has also discovered information that is believed to prove the opinions expressed in the expert's reports that are before the court are demonstrably inaccurate. A large portion of the court documents remain sealed. It is unknown what the computer expert found in Carmack's computer that would lead him to say what he did.
Wait, so what's going on exactly?
Oculus are being shitbags?
No. ZeniMax is suing
ZeniMax.
Oculus under the idea that the creator of Oculus was currently developing something and used their products to create the Oculus Rift and their time, their people, their hardware and stuff to create the Oculus Rift.
Oh,
And then
Yeah,
he
because when
fractured
had-
it off. You can go to
plays. Oh, sorry, they had him plays in ZeniMax originally.
Yep.
gotcha.
And they think some of the technology that is used currently in the Oculus was stolen directly from ZeniMax. So
Yeah, how much proof do they have?
I don't know.
Like, okay, well then it's not much of an update. It's really like this apparently isn't gonna die in childbirth.
No,
like
yeah.
this is gonna keep going.
This is apparently
It's just another in a long line of bullshit.
Oh, Polygon also reports that a separate motion orders Samsung, Oculus's partner, for the Gear VR headset to send its details to ZeniMax about this.
It's not gonna go anywhere.
Probably not there. But basically, it's not gonna die directly right away, and people from Oculus might have lied.
It's gonna drag on, and it's gonna be bloody, and everybody's gonna waste a lot of everybody else's time, and then nothing is gonna happen. Like 90% of lawsuits in America. It's just what's gonna happen. But unfortunately, it's probably gonna cost a couple people their jobs.
Probably.
Because as you've said, what likely happened is there were people in Oculus who completely patently denied any involvement in anything having to do with this other company. And then all they have to show is that they looked at one piece of paper from their company at one point at any time, whether or not they were working with Oculus, and then they've just perjured themselves. So now people are going to lose their jobs just because like they patently denied that anything like this was going on, when they probably inadvertently did see patents from other companies at some point, whether that was willingly or knowingly or unknowingly. So ZeniMax is just going to drag them through the fucking mud and probably cost some people their livelihoods, and then ultimately just wind up not getting any money out of it.
Yep, from what we can tell at the current time, that looks like where it's heading. We'll keep you up to date with any farther updates.
All right, do I get to do this one?
Yes.
Next one here. Okay, new complaints trigger Destiny Dev to discuss its anti-cheating strategies. We take DDoS attacks very seriously. As part of its latest weekly blog post, Destiny developer Bungie responded to the recent reports from fans about cheating in the Crucible. The developer acknowledges that there has been some concern, most specifically in the area of DDoS cheating in the mode Trials of Osiris. DDoS attacks can overload your connection, causing it to fail, yada yada. We've discussed this. Bungie said it takes the subject of cheating very seriously, as I can attest. Trust me. And reiterate that players can alert the developer of suspicious activity. Bungie has several full-time staffers dedicated to ensuring the security of Destiny's battlefield, who look over in-game reports and decide if action should be taken. If you can't do anything in Destiny's in-game reporting tool, they've now added an additional online tool with the option to add multiple end-game reports to. So now, thanks to community-generated pages like Guardian GG and Destiny Tracker, you can find someone who believe is cheating. You can look at their history, their game history, see that they've been winning games with barely any KD. In fact, sometimes with everyone with 0-0 for their KD. Rope all of those end-game reports together and submit them in a single report now. So you can actually show behavior now too, not just report single games. Okay. The ban hammer is being swung often. We take DDoS for attacks very seriously. As discussed by Polygon, people in Destiny subreddit this week shared stories of cheating measures of PlayStation messages to block in-game radar. That said, Bungie also clarified that player reports, while important, are not the only step in the process that could eventually lead to action be taken against a player. The developer isn't willing to discuss these exact protocols, but wants players to know that they do exist. As a policy, we don't publicize how we work on cheaters so they can't learn ways to evade us, which is a perfectly valid argument as to why they don't publish some of their internal tools. So that's the lowdown. I have played Trials of Osiris before. I also have played it recently during the Spooky Trials event for Halloween, which featured no radar and no revives, which is basically shotgun cancer. But I played several games, and I did not encounter anyone using this tactic. I, however, have been in a game where someone has tried to use this tactic. Thankfully, because I have an old enterprise-grade router, they couldn't throw enough packets at me to knock me off. But they did knock off both of my teammates, and I had to win a 3v1 in Trials of Osiris, which is extremely difficult to do. And I managed to come out victorious, but then the other two people were really discouraged because back then, getting DDoSed counted as a quit. So their Trials boon, in Trials of Osiris, you get 1 free loss. Even though they had that free loss, because the system detected them as quitters, it tacked the loss onto their card anyway, and then that card was dead because you have to go 9-0 in order to get to the lighthouse. So even though I was able to prevail, those two guys got screwed over, and I lost my team because they got discouraged and quit for the week. So
Why does that sound really familiar?
because you were living with me when it happened.
Ah, that makes sense.
You probably heard me bitch in the other room about what was going on. Yeah, but the reason why this is such a massive problem is because of Destiny's a peer-to-peer game. It's not dedicated servers. Dedicated servers would instantaneously solve this problem. There are ways to insulate yourself from these kind of attacks. Streamers, for example, use low latency, high bandwidth VPNs that have DDoS protection. However, they are not cheap. Your regular VPN doesn't have the latency requirements to play video games on. A low latency VPN costs extra money, and one that can provide DDoS protection costs even more. So it's not like everyone who wants to play Trials can just go buy an advanced streamer's VPN to protect themselves every weekend when they want to play Trials of Osiris. So it's a problem that's been around, and it seems to ebb and flow. Like, it was really bad at the end of year 1, and then Bungie made a statement about it, and it died. Like, everybody laid low who was doing it. It came back in the middle of year 2, but their detection software was better, so it died down again. And now, for some reason, it's really picked back up again. I don't know what caused it, but it looks like there are people who are scumbags who have old, like, hacked accounts that have been leveling them up. And what they're doing is they're using all these SOC accounts that they've leveled up characters on Destiny with for Trials of Osiris to pay for DDoSing services. So they're like, Lighthouse, 9-0 guaranteed, $50, DDoSes every match, takes only a half an hour. Like, you can actually find these advertisements online of people who are doing this now. So that's the lowdown.
Like, if you can't get 9-0 by yourself, you probably just shouldn't play.
Well, this is what's so hilarious about it, because they pay for it. They do get to the lighthouse. Those 2 SOC accounts that those guys are using to carry you get banned. They use another one, but now you're permanently banned from playing Destiny on the only account you have. Like, people who are doing this are retarded. The biggest problem back in year 2 is that people were doing these DDoSes against only one player of the enemy team to make it look more legit, and they weren't telling people that were playing with them that they were doing these. And some people were getting hit by the collateral hammer because guilt by association in terms of getting 9-0, it makes sense that Bungie would want to ban anyone who's on a team that's doing this. Right. Because everyone gleans benefits from the misbehavior of a single user, so they have to be equally punished in order to prove a point.
Which sucks for the other 2.
And that's it. That's really all the information I've got on it. It's just kind of a scummy situation that hopefully will get solved in Destiny 2. Hopefully they can go to dedicated servers and just totally cut the problem off at the knees.
I was going to say, hopefully they realize they have a substantial player base that can hopefully keep them going. And
the last thing, before we go, it's really short. At the bottom of this article, it mentions that according to SuperData, believe it or not, Destiny was the highest grossing digital game in September. because of the drop of the DLC and the microtransactions, they believe that Destiny actually made similar amounts of money to its initial launch.
Wow.
Off of the Rise of Iron.
Very nice.
That's impressive.
Which is like, whoa. Like, how did you guys even do that? The game reportedly brought in more than like $60 million in the course of 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Now, like that's not launch day level stuff, because I mean Destiny blew everyone's socks off day one, but that's actually better than their total gross for the Taken King, and the majority of that money is actually microtransactions. So even though the community is bitching about some of the microtransactions that are going on, clearly there's a large amount of the player base that are willing to fork over money for cosmetic items. So microtransactions, Eververse is here to stay, because obviously it works. So
Yeah.
As long as it's for cosmetics, it's okay.
yeah, that's my opinion of it. But there's some people in the community who believe that they take the Overwatch opinion of it. There was a lot of criticism of Overwatch during the summer games because there was stuff that people couldn't get if it wasn't in a box. So now they've made it so anything that you can get randomly in a box, if you grind enough or if you had enough in-game currency, you can still get it. And a lot of the Destiny player base are completionists and they're collectors.
Yep.
So the fact that there's no way to grind in-game for some of those masks is really pissing off the hardcore portion of the community. So
Okay.
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I have
And
big issues with microtransactions that can't be obtained with time through the regular game. That's just also my opinion. Like, if you can't obtain it without buying it, then it shouldn't be in the game. Just my opinion. Yeah, I have nothing else to mention. I just have minor questions to ask, and then small outro. So, after stream.
I'm
Yeah.
probably just gonna do Minecraft.
Yeah, we should probably talk to Cassie.
Who's Cassie?
Oh, that's
That's
personal stuff,
not
probably.
stuff we should say on stream.
Yeah.
That still doesn't mean we can't do the after stream. So that's a
I'm
no
down
from
for
Doc.
that.
Deldev.
Well, it depends on what we're doing, I guess.
I don't care. Yeah, as long as it's something fun, we should be fine.
Okay, so
Leave.
we
Leave
may
is fun.
do we may do an after stream. I'll get
Yes,
back to you
there will
guys.
be. They will converse with themselves, and then you guys can find out. Stick around for like 5 or 10 minutes, and if they don't come back, they don't come back.
Well, it may be more like a half an hour because we have to go
Oh, okay.
to somebody.
Oh,
But,
all right.
yeah. My little outro first. Go subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and email me anything you want to know, questions, all that shit, articles you want us to read on the Gmail. They're all in the description box.
If you happen to want to sponsor us, we like money.
I was gonna say, if Audible's listening or anybody, I will totally shill out hardcore. Let me know how I can shill. I will shill.
I mean, I'm sorry. We're never gonna actually get Audible to give us any money after I say this. But Audible is the variable crack whore of sponsorships.
Everybody has an Audible sponsorship. I use them.
All right.
Okay,
Well, this has been the Four Mics podcast with mystery guest. We're four dudes who know a little bit about a lot of stuff, attempt to sound mildly entertaining on the internet. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Night, everybody.